in a city suddenly swallowed by chaos. One young man wakes up to find the world outside his door has already ended. No warnings, no explanations, just silence, and the sound of something hungry dragging itself through the hallways. Trapped alone inside his apartment, cut off from everyone he's ever known, he must face a terrifying truth. Sometimes the deadliest enemy isn't the monsters outside. It's the loneliness slowly killing you from within. The story begins with Oh Joon-woo, an average video game streamer who lives with his parents. His life revolves around playing games all night and sleeping until 10 in the morning. His parents don't mind this routine because his live streams bring a steady income to the household through super chats and donations. On this particular morning, his parents have left to go shopping, leaving Joon-woo alone in their high-rise apartment. Joon-woo wakes up at 10 a.m. as usual. Still half asleep, he stumbles to his computer and goes live for his stream. "Hey guys, my name is 𝗍𝗶𝗶𝗲𝗏, he says to his audience, before diving into a game of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. During the stream, he hears loud, disturbing noises from outside. Screams, crashes, and sirens. He ignores them at first, thinking it's just a loud protest, and tells his viewers he'll check it out. When he finally steps out onto his balcony, the scene below is one of pure chaos. People are running in every direction, screaming and violently attacking each other. His mind struggles to process the carnage. His confusion turns to horror when he sees a schoolgirl viciously bite her own mother. Joon-woo is frozen in shock, unable to comprehend the nightmare unfolding in his once peaceful neighborhood. He rushes back inside and turns on the television. Every news channel is broadcasting the same emergency alert. A dangerous, unknown virus is spreading rapidly through the city. The news reports state that infected people are turning into violent, cannibalistic monsters. Essentially, zombies. The government is advising everyone to stay indoors and barricade their homes. Suddenly, his apartment door bursts open. His neighbor, a man he recognizes, stumbles inside, panting and terrified. He has just barely escaped the zombies in the hallway. Joon-woo, scared and suspicious, immediately yells at him to get out. The neighbor pleads, asking if he can just use the bathroom before he leaves. Reluctantly, and against his better judgment, Joon-woo agrees. While the neighbor is in the bathroom, Joon-woo watches more news reports. The broadcast details the symptoms of the infection. The victim's eyes turn red before they fully transform into a rabid zombie. At that moment, the bathroom door opens. The neighbor steps out, but something is terribly wrong. His eyes are bloodshot and turning red. He was bitten during his escape, and the infection is taking hold. The neighbor's body convulses, and he fully transforms into a snarling zombie, lunging at Joon-woo. In a frantic struggle for his life, Joon-woo manages to kick the creature back into the hallway and slams the door shut, locking it. He peers through the peephole just in time to see another zombie in the hallway attack and devour his now transformed neighbor. Terrified, Joon-woo's survival instincts kick in. He immediately barricades the front door with his heavy refrigerator to prevent any other zombies from breaking in. He learns more about his new enemies. These zombies are fast and aggressive. They retain faint memories of their human routines. So former office workers mindlessly head towards business districts, and fitness enthusiasts shamble towards gyms. Most dangerously, they have incredibly sharp hearing. Joon-woo desperately tries to call his parents, but the network is jammed. Then, a text message finally comes through from his family. It simply reads, "Are you okay? We're taking shelter in a safe place for now." The message gives him a sliver of hope. He writes, "We must stay alive," on a piece of paper, and sticks it next to a family photo on his wall, using it as a mantra to stay strong. His next priority is survival. He scavenges his apartment, taking stock of his limited food and water. Realizing he needs help, he takes a photo of himself holding a sign with his address and posts it online, hoping for a rescue. But when he looks out the window with his drone, his hope fades completely. He sees that his entire apartment complex is overrun. Every floor, every balcony he can see is swarming with the infected. He is completely alone, trapped in a towering tomb, with the undead scratching at his door. Joon-woo is completely surrounded, watching in despair. To calm his frayed nerves, he does the only thing that feels normal. He tries to play video games, desperate to lose himself in a digital world and escape the real-life nightmare. But the internet has finally failed. The connection drops, and his game ends abruptly. With his last distraction gone, he is left alone with his terrifying thoughts. He falls asleep on the sofa. That night, a single gunshot jolts him awake. He rushes to his balcony and looks down. In the open area below, He spots another survivor, a young woman in a police officer's uniform. She is trapped, maybe trying to save someone or find supplies. She fights bravely, shooting and killing several zombies that get too close, but there are way too many. Joon-woo watches in horror, completely powerless to intervene from such a distance. The horde quickly overwhelms her, and she is killed. This failure shatters Joon-woo. He couldn't save her, and now he fears he cannot save himself. In a moment of panic and frustration over her death, he makes a critical mistake. He screams out loud into the night, drawing the attention of the infected. The noise alerts a particularly fast and aggressive zombie. It begins slamming against his barricaded door with terrifying force. The door splinters and gives way, sending the heavy refrigerator toppling over and spilling all of Joon-woo's precious food supplies onto the floor. The creature chases him through the apartment. With nowhere else to go, Joon-woo makes a desperate move. He scrambles onto his balcony and climbs over the railing, hanging precariously from the edge of the high-rise building. The zombie, unable to stop its momentum, charges straight through the railing and plummets to its death on the ground far below. Joon-woo hauls himself back to safety, but his situation is now dire. His door is broken, and most of his food is ruined. He makes another desperate plea for help by recording a video, but another week passes with no rescue. His supplies dwindle until he is down to his very last meal. After eating it, he makes one final emotional video, staring into the camera and stating, "I'm still alive, you bastards. Someone please come save me." He then remembers something crucial. His mother, a tech-savvy person, once showed him an app that can send messages using FM radio signals, which don't require a cellular network. He frantically searches his apartment for a pair of wired headphones to use as an antenna, but in his modern wireless home, he cannot find a single pair with the necessary jack. He is trapped by the very technology that was supposed to make life easier. 15 days into the outbreak, Joon-woo hits rock bottom. His food and water are completely gone. Dehydrated and delirious, he begins drinking the leftover alcohol from his father's liquor bottles. At first, he becomes recklessly euphoric, shouting and dancing, taunting the zombies outside. But this hysteria soon gives way to a heartbreaking hallucination. He dreams that his parents have returned home and that everything is back to normal. The joy of this vision is so vivid that when he wakes up to the grim reality of his empty, lonely apartment, he is utterly devastated. He curls up on the floor, sobbing silently, afraid that even the sound of his crying will attract the monsters. In this moment of absolute despair, his phone briefly connects to the network. A flood of old voice messages from his parents finally come through. As he listens, the terrible truth is revealed. His parents were caught in the initial outbreak. In their final messages, they tell him they love him and to stay alive. Knowing his family is gone forever, Joon-woo is consumed by a wave of rage and grief. He begins smashing things in his apartment. In a final suicidal act of fury, he storms out of his broken front door and into the hallway, directly confronting a lone zombie. In a blind fury, he manages to kill one of the creatures, but the noise immediately attracts a horde of others. Seeing them pour into the corridor, his survival instincts kick in, and he barely scrambles back inside his apartment, barricading the broken door once more. Now completely broken in spirit, he believes there is nothing left to live for. With his family gone and no hope of rescue, he decides to take his own life. He records a final somber video message, and then prepares to hang himself. As he stands on the chair with the noose around his neck, ready to end it all, a sudden red laser dot appears on his chest. This small light is a lifeline. It means he is not alone. The shock and sudden surge of hope give him the strength to free himself from the noose. He rushes to his balcony and sees her, a young woman in the apartment building across from his. She is alive. Her name is Kim Yoo-bin, and she is incredibly resourceful. She has set up clever traps on her doors, and Joon-woo watches as she calmly dispatches a zombie that got caught in one. The two survivors begin to communicate by writing messages on their phones and holding them up to the window. Joon-woo, being an introverted gamer, is awkward and doesn't know what to say, which Yoo-bin finds a little foolish. Knowing Joon-woo is starving, Yoo-bin devises a plan to get food to him. She ties a rope to a ball and tries to throw it across to his balcony to create a zip line, but the distance is too great, and the ball falls to the street below. Thinking quickly, Joon-woo uses his drone to fly the rope over to Yoo-bin's apartment. She attaches a care package of food and water, and he reels it in. Just as he begins to eat his first proper meal in days, they notice a terrifying problem. The fallen ball was picked up by a zombie, a former firefighter who knows how to climb. This intelligent zombie begins climbing the rope, pulling it taut. The rope is tied to a heavy table inside Yu-bin's apartment, and the zombie's weight drags the table across the room, pinning Yu-bin against a wall and knocking her unconscious. Joon-woo watches in horror as the firefighter zombie climbs higher. He uses his drone to attack the zombie, slicing its face, but the distraction causes him to lose control of the drone, and the zombie smashes it to pieces. Just as the zombie reaches Yu-bin's balcony, she regains consciousness. In a swift and brutal move, she severs the zombie's hand with an axe, sending it plummeting to its death. Now, with a little food but knowing it won't last, Joon-woo decides he must take a greater risk. Under the cover of darkness, he quietly leaves his apartment to scavenge in his neighbors' homes. He finds a key in a dead zombie's pocket and uses it to enter the apartment across the hall. Joon-woo steps into his neighbor's apartment and makes a grim but useful discovery. The owner was a survival enthusiast, and his apartment is a treasure trove of supplies. Joon-woo finds food, a crucial headphone jack cable, and a pair of walkie-talkies. He quickly fills a bag with the food, but as he is about to leave, the apartment's owner, now a zombie, attacks him. In a frantic struggle, Joon-woo manages to shove the zombie toward its own deceased wife and escapes back to his own apartment, slamming the door shut. His first priority is to try the FM radio again. He connects the headphone jack, but his hope is short-lived. The FM station is dead, having gone silent after the outbreak. Feeling lonely and bored, he gets an idea. He uses the drone to send one of the walkie-talkies and some food over to Yu-bin. Now, for the first time, they can talk to each other with voices instead of written signs. Through their conversations, Joon-woo learns that Yu-bin is afraid of heights. To lift their spirits, they decide to cook instant noodles at the same time in their separate apartments, sharing a meal together over the walkie-talkies. During their meal, they hear a sound that resembles heavy rain. Hoping to collect fresh water, they both rush to their balconies with pots. But it is not rain. The sound is the synchronized, marching footsteps of a massive horde of zombies moving through the courtyard below. The sight is terrifying. To make matters worse, Yu-bin accidentally makes a noise in her apartment. The zombies immediately stop and turn their attention toward her building, beginning to swarm her floor and pound on her door. Thinking quickly, Joon-woo uses his phone to call the apartment next to Yu-bin's. The loud ringtone diverts the horde's attention, and they storm the empty apartment instead, saving Yu-bin. Realizing they cannot stay in their apartments forever, Joon-woo and Yu-bin devise an escape plan. Yu-bin has observed that the 8th floor of Joon-woo's building appears to be completely clear of zombies. They decide to risk everything and make a run for it. Armed with makeshift weapons, they quietly descend the stairs. But their plan goes wrong almost immediately, and they are spotted. An intense and bloody fight ensues as they battle their way through the horde, eventually barricading themselves inside an elevator to reach the 8th floor. When the elevator doors open on the 8th floor, they find it is not empty at all. It is teeming with zombies. As they try to flee, a mysterious man suddenly opens a door and pulls them to safety inside his apartment. At first, they are grateful, but Yu-bin is immediately suspicious of his motives. The man seems overly kind, offering them food and drink. Exhausted and starving, they eagerly accept. But the man is drugged to food. He reveals his horrifying plan. His wife has turned into a zombie, and he has been keeping her locked in a bedroom. He was waiting for other survivors to feed to her, and Joon-woo and Yu-bin are to be her next meal. As the man drags the unconscious Yu-bin toward the bedroom, Joon-woo, who ate less of the food, wakes up. He grabs the man's own gun and forces him to open the locked door. Inside, they find Yu-bin is already awake. She has cleverly muzzled the zombie wife with tape. The moment the door opens, Yu-bin shoves the zombie directly onto her husband. The man, in his final moments, simply embraces his undead wife, and the two are consumed together. Before the grieving husband can turn into a zombie himself, Kim Yu-bin makes the difficult choice and shoots both him and his infected wife. But the loud gunshot has a devastating consequence. It echoes through the building, alerting the massive horde of zombies downstairs. The creatures, drawn by the noise, immediately begin swarming up towards the 8th floor apartment. Trapped and seeing the horde approaching, Yu-bin loses all hope. She hands Joon-woo the gun and begs him to shoot her, preferring a quick death to being torn apart. Just as they are about to give up completely, they hear a new sound cutting through the chaos. The distinct and powerful rotor of a military helicopter. This sound reignites their will to live. Instead of surrendering, they decide to fight their way to the rooftop. They battle through the corridors, using their last ounces of strength to push past the infected. and finally burst through the door onto the building's roof. But when they get there, their hearts sink. The sky is empty. The helicopter is gone. They are now trapped on the roof with the horde breaking down the door behind them. As the zombies pour onto the rooftop surrounding them, Joon-woo and Yoo-bin stand back to back, completely out of options and accepting their fate. But then a miracle happens. A military helicopter suddenly swoops in from behind the building. Soldiers inside open fire, mowing down the zombies and creating a safe path. A rescue ladder is lowered, and Joon-woo and Yoo-bin are hauled to safety. As they fly away from the nightmare, the network signal on their phones is restored. Joon-woo's phone buzzes with new messages. To his overwhelming joy, he discovers that his parents are alive and safe. They had been rescued earlier and had never stopped trying to contact him. The movie ends by revealing the power of their story. Joon-woo's initial social media post with the hashtag #Alive went viral. It became a symbol of hope and a beacon for rescuers. Countless other survivors used the same hashtag to signal their location, allowing the military to find and save them. Joon-woo and Yoo-bin's desperate fight to stay alive did not just save them, it helped save many others, proving that even in the darkest times, a single message of hope can connect people and lead to rescue. On IMDb, the film has an average rating of 6.3 out of 10, based on over 53,000 viewer ratings. We hope you enjoyed this movie explanation. If you did, please share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching.